this shirt don't fit like it used to, and I need another notch on my belt. If you're looking for a six-pack, muscled up kind of man, better look somewhere else.
Welcome
Yeah, I can stand to lose a few pounds.
Gentlemen, it's a holiday. Happy Vasectomy Day. So,
I've got one.
me too.
There you go.
There we go.
But did you get it on the week of March Madness so that you can sit around and watch it all day?
You know, I didn't. I lost the opportunity. But for all the guys who can snip out there, sit on your peas, enjoy some basketball.
Sit on your peas. In more ways than one.
100%. Boys, welcome. It is March Madness time. We get to enjoy this a little bit, and we're already off to some really fun results. Colm, start with you right away, man. What's got your attention day one, and are you enjoying it?
Well, now I'm going to enjoy it. I might go get a second vasectomy next year on the Thursday, just so I can have the weekend off to go to watch the basketball. There's been a lot of craziness already. It's March Madness. It's what March Madness is. Even right now, Oakland, Kentucky is a 3-point game now, with 3.9 to go. They sent Oakland to the line. Oakland just missed their first free throw.
Uh-oh.
So something happens here. They missed the second one, and Kentucky somehow sends this to overtime. Somehow, some way. That would be the definition of March Madness. But, I had Duquesne in my bracket all the way up until about 10 o'clock this morning. I let somebody talk me out of Duquesne and into BYU, and then I wanted to punch myself. I actually told them to meet me in the parking lot after the game was over.
You should tell them to refund your fee, too.
I was so angry. So angry. But all of my, my bracket's not busted. I only, it only hurts me for the first round. But it's been a crazy day. Kentucky, if they lose to Oakland, raise your hand if you had Oakland beating Kentucky in your bracket.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a big bracket buster, because I think in one of my brackets I have them Final Four for sure. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think I have Kentucky in my Final Four too, but
yeah.
For reference, I'm gonna let you all talk the NCAA. I just look off of stats, points, and cool names and cool logos. I really don't care.
You go by which mascot could kick the other mascot's ass? Is that what you do?
Less about a mascot.
Surprise, surprise. The Massachusetts boy does not care about college basketball. Okay. Charlie, what do you think so far?
All he cares about seeing is the Bruins choke in the first round of the playoffs. That's all he
I got enough pro teams to follow. I don't get time to follow 120 college teams.
Charlie, what do you think so far, bud?
Man, I love. Okay, so I was saying this beforehand. I mean, we're on a 6 already on the madness meter. I absolutely love it.
Absolutely.
By the end of tomorrow, we might be at a 7 or an 8. There's no telling. I had Oregon beating South Carolina. I enjoy that one. It's cool to see the Gamecocks lose no matter what the sport is. So I thought that BYU, man, that's crazy. That's why I love this time of year, man, is stuff like that. Michigan State, I in my main bracket, I did take Mississippi. I thought them Bulldogs were going to kind of maybe get them, but it didn't happen. So,
I don't think it matters, right? Because no matter who won that game, I mean, obviously Oakland's going to be Kentucky here. I mean, they're up by 4 but
can you accept victory if you have more than one bracket?
Well, of course.
Well,
Okay.
Here's the thing, though. So if you go to the different sites, in the different sports providers and all, I don't, when I fill out the bracket, it's not like I pull up the bracket, I'm not like opening another app on my phone and pulling out the bracket to see what all I put. I just go with the feel right then. So I have 4 brackets, if I've got Yahoo, ESPN, the CBS, and then Fox or whatever, so I've got 4, 5, one sleeper. So 5 brackets. A lot of them are going to be really similar, but I have my main bracket. The first one that I do, which is always, for me, it's always the one on Yahoo. So that's the first one. That's the main one that I put all of it into. So that's the one that I count. I don't be I've got this. I've got my what if it all goes crazy bracket, on one site. And it'll be fun to watch that one be the best one that I did. But if I did, it's but that wasn't really me thinking that they were going to win. I've got my main bracket. and then
Well-
the other ones are just secondary. For
It's
fun.
all going crazy because Oakland just beat Kentucky.
Woohoo!
Did you
Hey,
see
wise
that?
jelly.
That's
Did they
the first
really?
6.5.
Wow.
first time Oakland has advanced to the second round in the tournament. I can't believe that. I feel like I've seen them so many times, but they must always lose.
Yeah, they're usually the 15, 16 seed. I don't know. It's March Madness, man. I love it. I'm rooting tomorrow for Grambling to screw up everybody's bracket and take down Purdue.
See, I want
Stampedes
Utah
right now,
State.
man.
I have Purdue winning, but then again, I don't care.
What?
Go
What?
Utah
Utah
State. the
Grambling's a
next round.
16 seed, but they average 85 points.
Oh, I can't.
And Alabama.
Can somebody help me
90.
remember who was the one seed that lost? Who was that?
The
Is that
Virginia.
Purdue?
Virginia.
It's Virginia.
Was it Virginia?
What was time?
Yeah.
We got a
And
crazy
what was-
couple of years here, guys. Look at the tournament, and here we are into
Yeah,
it.
I got. Let me see. Where's my
Troy,
Kentucky?
before we go to the next topic here,
Today.
Troy, what are your thoughts so far? How do I feel about it so far?
I love it. I'll watch college basketball periodically throughout the season just to, kind of keep touch, see what's going on, see who the hot teams are, all that kind of fun stuff. But this here, if you're any type of casual sports fan, you cannot miss this. This is just must-see TV all the time.
Right.
These first 2 days especially are just insane, I just love it. It's just a lot of fun. You're rooting for the underdogs. You want to see the big teams get upset. It's just so much fun.
Well, what other time of year can you look at and say, hey, everyone's wife, son, daughter, grandma
Yep.
got
Went there.
involved somehow
Yeah.
in a bracket,
Yep.
right? Like everyone's got something going on right now. But Cole's brought a great point up, and I want to go on this for a little bit longer, actually. This goes into fantasy sports, this goes into brackets as well. Can you really claim it if you've got everybody? I mean, if you got 10 brackets and they're all different, can you really claim it? If you've got 10
I think there's
I
got to be
mean-
a magic number. I don't know what that is, but no, 10 seems a little overboard.
We all know that guy, though. I mean, look, we're all sports guys. We all know that guy who's got
Sure.
10 brackets. Is like, I got that. Well, no kidding, dude. I mean, you got 10
Yeah,
brackets.
you had
You
everybody. You had
you
all
can't
16
have-
teams.
You can't have more than one bracket in one contest.
Okay.
Well, I get what you're saying though, because
Like, in
if
our
I'm in an
group-
ESPN one and then somebody sends me a Yahoo one, you're probably not bringing it up. I mean, I've been in where it's only people have only asked me to join their ESPN one, so I just use the same one for all of them. But I get what you're saying though. Sometimes you get asked to a different group, you don't have time to look up the other one, so you just kind of fill it out to what you think it is at the time. And usually your final, whatever, 8,
Pretty close.
4,
Yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah, with those guys who just have 10 brackets and they're just I seen a guy before who would fill out 5 or 6 brackets, and one of his brackets would always have every single 16 seed beating the 1 seed, so he could be right about one of them when he picked it. And so it's come on, guy, you're just at that point you just want to be the guy who said he picked it.
Attention-seeking behavior. But
Yes.
there it is.
I-
Look,
I don't know. I disagree a little bit with Charlie
Okay.
there. I think kind of 3 is that magic number. I think if you're doing more than 3, then you're probably stretching a little bit.
okay.
I don't know. It's fun. Let's be real here. I mean, unless you're, Andy Katz or somebody like that, you're not following all these mid majors and all that kind of stuff. So to maybe, pick an upset here or there, and you're like, maybe this bracket, I think Arizona might win it. Maybe this one here, I'll take North Carolina. And this one here, maybe we'll go with Kansas, who, by the way, I think they're getting knocked off tonight too.
Yeah, that's why my favorite one I think is the one that I do with a bunch of friends, where there's we each get 2 randomized teams, and then you play against the spread. So today, I had Michigan State, and the other guy had Mississippi State. I had the -1.5 points, but if Michigan State had only won by 1, I would have lost, and he would have stolen Michigan State because I didn't cover the spread.
Ah, that's interesting.
So I like that one. I like doing it that way, but I really do. I only fill out one bracket, and it's just too much to try to go through and fill out more.
Yeah. looking forward to tomorrow, though, guys. We got some fun matchups. Troy, you've already alluded to your James Madison pick. Screw you.
No, that wasn't me.
But
that was me.
Oh, sorry. What was it?
Yeah,
that figures. All right, so
screw you.
Yeah, because screw Wisconsin.
I know you'd love to, but you still enjoy Door County and the rest of our beer like everyone else does. But I'll move past. Not for tonight. Not for tonight. I'm sorry. My bad. Guys, tomorrow we've got Nebraska A&M, Florida, Colorado, Auburn, Yale, Clemson, New Mexico, UAB, San Diego State. I guess just throwing it out there, what do you have tomorrow as kind of a game you're really focused in on and kind of on upset watch? Colin, I'm figuring you're firing away right away. So what do you got?
For upsets tomorrow, I'm actually going through my bracket right now. Let's see what I have. I'm looking for what is tomorrow. Oh, so I have UAB over San Diego State.
Okay. I like it.
I also have let's see. I have Drake over Washington State.
Nice.
If you can really call that an upset. That's just a 10 over a 7. But then James Madison. I think I have James Madison. Like I said, I have James Madison all the way to the Elite Eight. I think that they can just make that run. I think that they are a good team, and then they end up losing to Houston in the Elite Eight.
So I'm just looking at the bracket here real quick. So do you have Duke advancing?
I have Duke. I have Duke losing to James Madison in the second round. Yeah,
that would be
Duke just
huge.
Always seems to, like, over the last 5 years or so, they seem to play well in the first round, and then they lose to a low seed in the second round. They've been doing that a lot lately. And these Duke teams aren't the Duke teams that we have known to come in low with the Krzyzewski,
Right.
teams. These Duke teams have been susceptible over the last couple of years. I know it's a pick, and if it hits, it hits, and if it doesn't, then my bracket looks a little terrible. But JMU, they play solid defense, they play big down low. And I think that bodes well for them against teams like Wisconsin, against teams like Duke,
Right.
and then ultimately Houston. I think get the best of, just because Houston's one of the best teams in the country. But that's just where I had. So those are my upsets for tomorrow.
Nice, I like it. Troy, what about you? Anything you're kind of focused on tomorrow for upsets?
I also have UAB knocking over San Diego State. I think I agree with that one. I also have Drake. I did not take James Madison. I don't think that one happens.
It's Wisconsin. They always screw everything up.
I don't know that I'd be terribly surprised. I think if Duke wins round 1, I think they get through round 2. But I don't know if I'd be surprised if they don't get knocked out of round 1. Vermont is always one of them ones that seems to sneak out a round 1 win.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
they
know
can
that
score.
I don't know that I'd be surprised by that one. I thought I had one other upset that.
Hey, Ben, can you do that again one more time? What did you do with that? The W? Yeah, I knew you were a closet Cubs fan.
There you go. There it is.
I do think Samford knocks off Kansas tonight. I mean, I know that we're not that's not tomorrow, but I think that happens.
Okay.
Kansas lost their leading scorer. I think they're just going to be really down about it. And Samford can play. Samford can play real well. From everything I've seen from them, just kind of looking at their stats, the way they lined up, I think they're going to match up really well with Kansas. So I think that's definitely an upset to watch. And
That's
then
a hot take.
It is.
We'll see. And then there was one more. Where was it? Oh, I think Clemson's going to sneak it out, but I wouldn't be surprised to see New Mexico get by them. That's one that that's another one I'm watching. I think New Mexico, Clemson, I don't know. The ACC, other than, North Carolina, nothing really impressed me too much with the ACC this year.
So to that point, though, sorry to interrupt you, but do you remember a 7-loss team being a 1 seed? I don't remember it. Like, as far as I can go back, I don't remember there being a 7-loss 1 seed.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
The thing with North Carolina is it seems like when they're on, like they're almost untouchable. But
Well, right.
yeah,
Is there another Hansborough there now? I'm sure that they had him for like 20 years. But
I
no,
heard,
it's interesting.
I heard what's now the joke's not even funny because I can't remember his name. Stetson Bennett. I heard he's playing college basketball for North Carolina now. So
He's 73.
and by the way, Georgia just scored on TCU again. So
Wow.
Go
gross.
Dogs.
Gross. Ugh.
Wow.
Speaking of our
It's
UGG
Ugg.
fan, Charlie, the resident UGA Bulldog here. What are you watching tomorrow? Who are you picking and what do you like?
So first, just tonight, I actually have Drake with the upset tonight over Washington State. I really do think. But so Troy tagged mine, man. My big one is I've got New Mexico, and I actually have New Mexico getting all the way to Arizona.
Wow.
nice.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, because here's the thing. Because right there in that same bracket, I've got Baylor losing tomorrow.
Wow.
Ooh.
I want
Yeah.
to see 11-14 in round 2. That'd be fun.
Wow.
Absolutely. I Baylor's the type of team that can lose in the first round.
Agreed.
But
They
have been known to choke before.
Yep. Colgate.
And so, yeah, man,
Could you
I've got
imagine
that.
losing to a toothpaste company? My God.
And look, so, and I filled out, and this is like my main bracket. This is the one that's in the Dads of Bacon league and everything. Like, before we even had the play-in games, I picked Colorado over Florida. Like, yeah, I
Surprise.
think
The Georgia
Florida.
guy hates Florida.
Well, no, but dude, they didn't look. I think, man, I think their last game, it's like, okay, they kind of been
You're right.
exposed.
Well,
Am I the
Colorado
only
was-
guy who was rooting for a matchup between Longwood and Moorhead?
Not at all.
I-
Not at all.
I did not even see that.
I tell you what, though, next round, I've got Purdue losing in the next round. I got Utah State taking them out.
Hey, Charlie, pass that joint, brother. That's some good stuff.
Oh man, that's old school, man. It was a couple of gummies.
It's easier. Less smoke,
So I don't have to hide from the kids.
less
That's
mess.
true.
Just don't mix it up with their fruit snacks.
I was gonna
Right?
say you don't have to hide gummies from your kids.
Separate baggies.
I have to hide all the gummies from the kids.
Right?
No, that's why
All right.
you leave out the dummy ones. They find them, they don't go searching for yours.
Ah, good
True.
point.
True.
So here's the thing I'm always looking at too is when it comes to overall, Brett, and Adam will get to you soon. I'm sorry, bro. I know this isn't your thing. I will talk.
I'm
to you.
doing NFL mock drafts on PFF. Please continue doing what you're doing.
Adam's ruining the Patriots again. I got
Watching
it.
Okada.
So,
I'm fixing the Patriots. It's okay.
okay. Hashtag Adam is always right. So
Hashtag,
damn
when
right.
are you applying for that job?
See, you finally figured it out.
all right. So
You must not be
one more
married.
ask that before you pass
Hashtag
this.
Boston College didn't make the tournament.
So strategy when doing your brackets. So, if you guys follow brackets like I do when it comes to scoring, your points come later anyway. The first round's where all the sexy picks are, the glam is there. But in reality, if you want points, you want to win your bracket, you got to have your Elite Eight, your Final Four survive, right?
Yep.
So to me, it's always I'm looking at is if I've got a team that's going to lose in the second round, I'll usually pick that upset there because I'm like, well, if I lose a point, I lose a point. I don't really care. I'll
Right.
make it up in the next round. Am I alone in that? Do you guys have different strategies, or how do you approach making your brackets?
No, I would agree with that strategy for the most part, but then it just seems like sometimes you do take that favorite and you're like, yeah, okay, they're even if they, even if I pick this upset, I'll still have the other favorite to win. And then that favorite's the one that ends up losing, and the other one's you know what I mean? So you end up picking the wrong side, and the team that you didn't pick for the upset goes all the way to the Elite Eight or whatever, or Sweet 16, and then it screws you up anyway. So it's a crapshoot. It really is. It's whoever gets hot, just like any playoff format in any sport. who gets hot at the right time. That's what it boils down to.
Or who doesn't take their opponents seriously, like Kentucky, not taking Oakland seriously, and they just get shocked, and they just can never catch up. And it's one of those where you could look at stats all day long. You could look at who beat who's from the bigger conference, who had a tougher schedule.
Power fives,
yeah. You could look at that all day long, and at the end of the day, you still don't get Oakland over Kentucky. Yeah. Like you just don't. And
the thing like with Kentucky, like you fall into this trap where you're like, okay, well, we are better than them, so even if we don't take them seriously or whatever, we can turn it up. But by that time, Oakland already has their confidence going. And that's it. You're not coming back once they have their confidence going. That's it. You got to hope that you can get a buzzer beater at the end of the game at that point to move on, because they are going to play good ball because they know they have you on the ropes.
Duquesne today was a perfect example of that. Duquesne they started out with a 10-point lead, and they just stayed up by 10. Now BYU made a little bit of a run and got it to within 4 a couple times, and as soon as they get it to within 4, Duquesne would pull away again. And when you get yourself into a position like that, especially in basketball, you get yourself to a point with less than 10 minutes to go in the second half, down by 10. You don't get the comfort of missing shots. You don't get the comfort of not getting stops on defense, and your back is against the wall, and it becomes tougher to play.
Doesn't look like St. Pete's has a run in them, by the way.
They're down by 3 touchdowns right now.
Yeah, that's about right, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's okay. That's okay. So I go back to Collinsville agrees on this one with Wisconsin. Gosh, about 20 years ago now, it was a Richmond matchup. Go back to Steph Curry, was at Davidson. Talk about those teams that Wisconsin looked past and then got embarrassed by.
Was that the last time Wisconsin made the tournament?
Sorry?
I said, is that the last time Wisconsin made the tournament when Steph Curry was in college?
Brother, I will fool you later on history of Wisconsin athletics. Not the time. But that being said,
I wish this show was tomorrow.
Do another one.
I'll be in your inbox, Ben.
I need a gummy now. I'm getting depressed here. So look, need a gummy. All I
said, that's all right. We got 2 teams in Wisconsin. I'll just choose Marquette.
Marquette's got to run. I hope. No, but so look. All that said, I mean, my point here is that even the teams we cheer for, there's pieces that you get that strategy going. There's a Wisconsin kid who's playing down at Iowa State. You get those little local connections. Back Tyler Hero went to Kentucky.
Yep.
Also get those local guys cheering on that local kid in the brackets. It makes it fun, brings us all together, gives us something to talk about. But going on the top of it, I know Adam can at least chip in on, even though his team also sucks here. Baseball is on us.
Woo!
Sox suck, brother. We all know this. But
we have a great lineup. Our pitching.
Thank God for baseball. Am I right, gentlemen?
Yes.
Troy, I want to get the Braves right away.
Okay.
Coming in, the Braves look like they should. They look like they're easily a top 5 team in baseball. What are you watching, and what advice do you have for fantasy baseball players when it comes to the Braves who's picking this year?
Fantasy? I mean, fantasy. I don't know. I would have liked to have seen more from I don't even know how you pronounce the dude's name, Kalenic or whatever his name is.
Kalenic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see. Yeah, I would have liked to see a lot more from him in spring training because he has not looked good. In fact, they made a move for Adam Duvall to get him back just in case. I think that was just a backup plan in case Kalenic doesn't work out or whatever. So
there's a reason why Seattle was so willing to let go. He was their top 3 prospect a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
And they just let him walk.
But I mean, but I was, I'm hoping to say find you a sleeper or something like that. But I mean, really, there's no sleeper. I mean, what do you got? You got a solid second baseman in Ozzie. You got Austin Riley, who's probably a top 5 third baseman. You have Acuna, who's a top 3 outfielder. I mean, those are your slugs right there. Olsen, I forgot about Olsen.
Yep.
I think Acuna is the best player in the game. Period.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And
I mean, there's actually a pitcher you got to look at early in the fantasy draft this year. And
what did Acuna end up with? 70-30 or 70-40?
70-40.
Yeah, 70-40.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just insane. That's never been done. I think 70-30 had never been done. Now we're talking.
He said on
70-40.
MLB Network the other night.
I thought it was 60-40 or 60-30, whatever it was.
70-40, but he said the other night on MLB Network he wants to reach 50-50.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna do it again.
So he might sacrifice power just to get on base more and run.
Well, he had 70 stolen bases last year with 40 home runs.
I was going to say he was short of the home runs last year.
Yeah.
So he's got to, I mean, but here's the thing. If you hit those extra 10, 15 home runs, are you going base enough to get those stolen bases then? You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, you guys were going stolen base, home run. I thought you meant home run, stolen base. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. You always put the big number first. It always sounds better,
Right. So, staying with the Braves, though, Charlie, you're down in Georgia. How you feeling this year? What are you watching there?
Oh, yeah, I'm watching every single Braves game, man, for sure. Like we're gonna win it all. This is the year.
We're gonna win it all. He said it so confidently.
Hey,
we're gonna win it.
We're gonna
win it the year.
We're gonna win it. We're gonna win it all as long as somebody knocks the Phillies out of the playoffs.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's gonna be a race between the Braves and the Phillies. That's gonna be a big thing.
Don't sleep on the Marlins, man.
We're all gonna love, watching
Marlins
the Mets
are a little snake gagger at that.
Nationals, they're not even a factor. The Marlins, we'll see what they do. They're probably going to beat a third place team in
very
the
young
division.
team. Very young team.
They've got
they'll
some
compete for a wild card. They'll compete for a wild card.
Yeah, but it's going to come down to I think some of the streaks, especially in the deep summer months, see who's still ticking off wins. I mean, if you ask personally, I've got the Braves with 102 wins and the Phillies with 99. I think they fall just short of 100. So, it's going to come down.
Have you seen Harper playing? Have you seen Harper playing first base? Like, is it just me, or he doesn't look that great at first base? Is that just me?
Oh, I don't know. I turn the TV off every time that they put the camera on him. No, he's off. He's off a little bit.
Like, why don't they just DH
think
him?
A lot of players are, man. I think most of the megastars other than Mookie, I think kind of look a little off, across the board.
And to answer your question, Troy, they don't DH him because then they'd have to put Schwarber in the field.
Yep.
They don't have anybody else that can hit 40 home runs but bat 180.
I was gonna say 40 home runs and 400 strikeouts.
Yes. Yes.
It's either all or nothing with that guy.
Yeah.
How
many leadoff hitters hit 180?
Right.
Just one.
I will say, we talk about Acuna, and he may be the best. This is definitely by far the Braves are the best offense in baseball, hands down across the board.
It's not close.
There might be one weakness in that 8 or 9 hole. That's about it. But I know Adam Duvall is
hole, you're doing well.
No, Adam Duvall platooning with him makes it okay.
Yeah.
That makes it all right. Every time he comes to Atlanta, he gets a better contract when he leaves because he just comes back to Atlanta.
What is it with that guy? Like, he doesn't do anything anywhere else. He goes to Atlanta and plays his ass off.
Yeah, man.
All right up here.
It's like that.
You're right. He was okay in Boston. You're right.
But Acuna, fantasy-wise, Mookie Betts will be the best player of the year. Acuna is the best player this year. When Shohei gets back to pitching, he's the best player in baseball.
What if he doesn't get back to baseball?
And I have a Braves tattoo, and I will say Shohei, when he's pitching and hitting, better baseball player.
Then who?
Shohei's coming.
No.
Shohei's 1, Acuna's 2.
He's a better gambler. I'll give him that.
He doesn't gamble.
I said Ohtani's a better gambler.
He doesn't gamble.
We'll get there. We'll get there, gentlemen. We'll get there. Hold your horses, all right?
That's what you call a tease.
Hey, show of hands for who woke up at 5 o'clock this morning to watch baseball in South Korea.
Oh, God, I wish I had him.
I'm the only one that is that sick.
No, I listened to it on the way to work.
Welcome to Chicago, brother. You are that sick.
I was sleeping.
Yamamoto now has an ERA of 45.
Yes.
Oh, everyone needs to chill.
10-year deal, $500 million, 45 ERA. I know it's only one start. He looked bad in the spring too. And I couldn't be happier than the what was it? $1.2 billion that they spent on Yamamoto and Ohtani, and all the issues they're having right now with those two players is amazing.
Ohtani was never worth that contract. Sorry.
I went in to this season looking forward to two things. One, a very, very good baseball season. And two, watching the Dodgers crumble in the first round of the playoffs. If this thing with Ohtani doesn't pan out, and if I'm right, and Yamamoto needs a new UCL by June, I'm going to love life.
Until the Bears start playing football. Adam.
I'm going to kick you in the shin.
I have to defend his Bears. The Bears have had a really good free agency.
We'll get there too.
Attaboy.
I actually think they're one of those sneakiest teams that have had a great offseason.
Yeah, sit down.
Hire you to be a GM. How about the Red Sox?
We have an amazing lineup. Our pitching sucks. What else do you want me to say? This team can't fucking hire pitching.
Maybe you can talk to Jimmy Fallon and do a video for you again to get something going. But sorry, Adam, your team sucks. Combs,
I don't care.
Combs, yours doesn't, sadly. Your manager's an idiot. Besides that,
not going there.
We've
gone through 2 directors of player personnel now. It's like, this isn't rocket science, people. You see amazing free agents out there. You give them money. You bring them here. This really isn't that difficult.
I filled out a baseball.
We just watched Adam have a freaking meltdown.
I was ready to call 911 for him.
Oh, I thought he was gonna. Yeah.
It looked like
I don't know who was more stupid, Belichick as GM or this Red Sox ownership that have no idea what to do with pitching.
No, so here's an interesting point. Kind of quick side note of baseball, and I'll throw this around the horn to you guys. I was filling out a Facebook thing just about baseball, favorite team, favorite player, blah blah blah, and then one of the questions was, if you could fix one thing about baseball, what would you do? And I'd like to hear your guys' answer on that.
I would immediately fire that frickin' moron Rob Manfred, and I would put him underneath any stadium I could get him under, because that guy is the biggest waste of space, and he is the biggest detriment to this game that I've ever seen. And the fact that he is the commissioner and the owner's pet, it drives me nuts year after. I can't. If I ever met him in person, I would jab him in the throat.
Well, all right.
Prison shank style.
We can try to get you out of jail, I guess. But that's a good point. I did not think of that.
Podcast takes no responsibility for what Combs just said.
Yeah.
Most people don't. All
opinions expressed on this broadcast are subject to the person that said them. So
yeah, absolutely. Fuck you, Rob Manfred.
So I support that message. Go
ahead, Ben. What would be your answer, Ben?
In baseball, man, look, I'm going to sidetrack for 1 second. Come back to this.
Okay.
I do want to touch on this too. Who's the worst? I think GMs. I think overall the commissioners just suck. Like, American sports commissioners suck because they're businessmen. These are all businessmen who have let the sport become secondary to the business.
Yep.
And that's why I say they're all the worst. This is why I'll boo all of them every chance I get, because I want to love my game. I want to love the sport that I fell in love as a kid. And these guys steal that from us constantly. But going to your point, Troy, as a mid-market team, I won't say small market. We are a mid-market team.
Here we go.
No, you're small market. But go ahead.
Medium market. Anyway, fine. It's
a medium small.
I drink because of you, Combs. I drink because of you.
It's all right. Our little redheaded stepbrother to the north.
Anyway, y'all wish you were us. The point is,
say it, Ben. Say it, Ben.
Give me the salary cap.
Thank you.
me the
Thank you.
salary.
Yes.
Parody.
Thank you.
If
Then
we're
you
not
wouldn't have,
getting rid of
then you wouldn't have
Manfred,
idiots like Otani making $750 million.
yeah,
look,
Well, he needs
may
it to
not
pay off
last
his
through-
debts.
He may
Here's the
not
thing,
last
guys.
3 years through that 10-year contract.
Here's my point though with salary cap. I also want to look at this by position a little bit because right now what I'm sick of seeing are pitchers pissing and moaning about having to make their money and why do fans care about what we're making? Because I'm paying $14 for a beer to watch you play baseball. Screw
Exactly.
you, dude. Because
Exactly.
I'm paying $40 to park to watch a Brewers Cubs game. Because I'm paying whatever I'm paying for my tickets now. Tickets that cost me $30 10 years ago or cost me $50.
Yep.
Screw you, pitcher. Screw you, hitter. I want to watch baseball, enjoy myself. I will watch college baseball. I will watch minor league baseball because I'm sick of paying what these guys are demanding me to pay.
But
they can pay
Ben,
their stupid contracts.
Ben. And
Don't.
you guys might disagree with me on this statement,
Probably.
but players in the grand scheme of things are actually underpaid.
What?
In the grand scheme of things, it's the owners and the front office make way too much money, especially the owners.
But hold on.
When you've got a team that is like the let's say the Milwaukee Brewers per se, okay? The Milwaukee Brewers. What's your biggest gripe about your Milwaukee Brewers, Ben? They don't what?
They don't keep their top talent.
They don't keep their top talent. They don't spend money, right? That's the biggest gripe about the Milwaukee Brewers. Same thing with Pittsburgh. Same thing with Cincinnati. But they get revenue sharing from all of the big market teams in the league. The owners get extra money from the teams that make more money, that spend more money, and they don't put it back into their team. So you've got a team in like the Brewers, the Reds, who will make about $800 to $900 million a year, and about 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 million of that is only their payroll. But let me ask you something, Troy. The last time you went to a game, how many owners' jerseys did you see people wearing? How many GMs' jerseys did you see people wearing? Players generate 100% of the revenue. They generate 100% of the revenue, and they get paid way less. It's the reason you're paying $14 for a beer, the reason why you're paying so much for a ticket, the reason why you're paying so much for food, it isn't because of how much the players are making, it's because of how much the owners want to make above what they are paying the players.
I totally get your point. But I think that all kind of works together, to be honest.
Well, of course it does. It's a business.
Yeah.
It's a business.
All right. So let's answer this. We can stay on this all day. I love the idea of putting in a salary cap. Yes, that's probably the biggest thing that needs to be fixed. Sorry. I'm a big proponent of if you have a skill set and you have a talent, go make your freaking money. Go do it. But for the love of bleep, the only person who should got paid $400 million is Mike Trout, who back then was in the conversation as one of the greatest fucking baseball players of all time until the injury started creeping up with him.
Shohei Ohtani is
Manfred.
Shohei Ohtani might be the first player you ever see who wins a Cy Young, a Silver Slugger, and an MVP in the same year. You're telling me he's not worth the same amount of money as Mike Trout?
$400 million. Yeah. I'm concerned about his elbow. He already avoided Tommy John surgery this offseason.
I agree. I think that the 700. That's why I said the Dodgers were dumb. The Dodgers spending all that money for spending all that money on the Japanese pitcher Yamamoto, who you've never even seen pitch. And most Japanese players come over here, and what happens when the Japanese pitchers come over here? Their UCL falls off their elbow. Shohei Ohtani's on his second Tommy John surgery. He's on his second. And that's what happened because they're not used to pitching a Major League Baseball schedule. And they just pay. So let them spend all. That's not my money. Spend it. I hope the Cubs spend $3 billion on their payroll next year. I don't care. Spend it. That's your money. Spend it. Get every damn player you can in this building. Adam, you said it yourself. And I'm sorry, Adam, but nobody feels bad for a New England fan that's struggling to find wins right now. After the last 30 years, we've had to listen to you gloat and talk about how you're the greatest sports franchise and the greatest sports city in the world with championship after championship. I hope you guys lose 162 games this year.
Preach.
Listen, I cheered for your Cubs. I stayed up and watched Game 7 and was cheering and might have been crying when you won the World Series.
I was doing the same for you in 04, because in 04, I was the only one telling my friends, hey, you guys won the first 9 games against the Yankees this year. You're telling me you can't win 4 straight? And they were all like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. This is what they do to us. I said, I'm a Cubs fan. What do you mean I don't understand?
The Bambino.
Our franchises had the worst and longest droughts.
Yes.
So everyone else can kiss our asses.
And the Indians.
Yeah. Anyway, I will say one of the best things that baseball's done lately, and I think everyone can agree on this, is the pitch clock. The pitch clock, I think, is one of the best things done. 2-hour, 40-minute games. And I'm not freezing my ass off at Fenway in April with, I took my wife and I to a Rays game, and I want to get to the payroll here in a second. And as I sit back here at my microphone, $7 to $10 tickets, I think we got for in April. Who wants to go to a cold night in Fenway, 7-8 hours? We were there. We left in the 6th, 7th inning. It was too damn cold. Why? The game was too damn long. Had that been 2 hours and 40 minutes, we probably would have seen the entire game and actually been invested.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I don't mind. I don't mind the pitch clock. There are some rules they've implemented that I don't like and I don't agree with. Like the fact that I have to bring in a relief pitcher and put and he has to face 3 hitters, even though I have a righty specialist and a lefty specialist. That it takes something away from the game that I just hate. Because the beauty about the game is the chess match. I do like the pitch clock, though. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be to start. I thought it was really going to screw up pitchers. I was really interested to see how it would play in the playoffs in the 9th inning of a really close game, and the pitcher only had no effect on the pitchers whatsoever, so I'm perfectly fine with the pitch clock. But some of those other rules, banning the shift is stupid. Learn how to hit. Learn how to hit. Learn how to go to the other way.
Manfred should be removed, but not. I don't like putting people like lose to get jobs. He's probably the worst commissioner of all the major league.
He resigned.
All the big 4.
He did resign, but not until 2029.
That's a great resignation. Great. Resigning means you leave now.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be like playing the Ravens and just putting all 11 guys up on the line because all they're going to do is run the ball. Like it's the same thing as the shift.
Or it's like the tush push, right? People that want to ban the tush push.
The 90s, Troy. Anyway,
what did you just say?
Lamar's better than Josh Allen. I said it.
Oh, get out of here!
Oh my God!
Oh man!
Better at what?
Ben finally said something I agree with.
Hey, we'll take it.
Can we talk about the? I think the last thing, and Troy, Ben, and Combs, you all brought this up. Market teams. The Rays are the freaking poster child for this the last 5+ years. They've been outstandingly amazing, and they have an $80 million payroll.
Because they develop talent in their system, and that's what they do. So that's why the Cubs are so good right now. Yeah. That's why the Cubs are so good. They're so deep everywhere in the minor league system that they're so good right now. That's why the Red Sox haven't been able to sustain success since 2018, is because they depleted their farm system. The same thing with the Yankees. What if the Yankees done since 2009? And the reason why they don't is because they build up their lineup with all these high price players, and they bargain shop for pitching, and they don't develop anything in their system because we don't need to develop anything in our system. We'll just pay for the best players to come here, and they're terrible. And they're leaning on Garrett Cole, and now Garrett Cole, freaking his UCL is falling off of his elbow. Like it's crazy. You have to build your system.
What do you think has the Braves in the position they're in right now?
Yeah,
building young talent.
Look how deep. System. Look, how many years in a row did they have the best farm system?
Well, now it's the Orioles, right?
Now it's the Orioles.
Right?
The Orioles are about to be up there with the.
The Orioles are so good.
I'm so happy for them.
I really hope that they go out and they are the ones that end up landing Montgomery. I would love to see him with the Orioles.
I agree with that. Look, Cole's coming down, buddy. I love it. But this conversation, when I come to the thought, I want to just go through this quick. Is there a UCL intact in the Dodgers rotation?
My gosh.
No.
I mean,
the new guy. Just the new guy.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, for now.
But his ERA is 45. So
they're all going to have those nice little elbow scars for Tommy John. It's coming. All of them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But anyway, I guess
Ben, you bring up the injuries.
Sorry,
Ben, you bring up the injuries. Let me tell you, one of the things that I would do to help fix baseball, especially from a fan point of view, is clean up the injury reporting. Straight up.
Yeah.
Have a free.
There's a thought.
Nice.
Have also, and I'm not going to take credit for this because I've heard the GM himself, Jim Bowden, say this several times. Have a free agency deadline.
Yes. Dude, could you imagine if in December, from December 1st to December 24th was your free agency period, and we had the same rush that the NFL just had in Major League Baseball? How insane would that have been? That would have been amazing, and everybody would already have their home. They'd be ready to hit spring training in February. They would know where they were going, and we wouldn't have guys like Jordan Montgomery. So the problem is the players union will never let a salary cap happen, and they will never let a free agency deadline happen. It's never going to happen because it's a union, and their unions are too good and too powerful to ever let that happen.
There's a story but anyway,
that's another story too. All right, so going forward from there, guys. Shohei Ohtani, the controversy. Look, so
Rose Jr.
Well, right. Is he Pete Rose Jr. or is he just guilty by association? Is he innocent? What's the deal with Shohei? Combs, start us off.
Too early.
I, to be honest with you, with all the stories out right now, I think we have to let this one play out and figure it out. I think baseball is going to do its best to try to sweep this under the rug and make us all forget about this. Somehow, some way, they're going to go U.S. government, and there's going to be some sort of like bomb scare at a stadium or something, so that we forget about Shohei Ohtani. I don't know how they make it go away, but right now there's just too many different stories out there, and I don't know. I heard a story the other day that Ohtani's camp say that it was just misinterpretation by the interpreter, why there's different stories out there. And look, I don't know. I do know that Shohei Ohtani should call Mr. Ray Lewis and find out how you have a friend take a fall for you and get away with it. And I think that he should take some notes from him and figure it out. If this dude takes the fall for him, he's the greatest friend of all time. But if he's guilty, he's going to have a hard time, because it's like Shohei Ohtani is a god in Japan. Yeah. He is a god in Japan right now. And if you're the guy that screwed over Shohei Ohtani, good luck walking around Japan. They have samurais. They will kill you. Like you don't mess with the guys in Japan. You don't mess with the guys in Japan, especially when you mess with their favorite people. I don't know which way it's going to go. I'm going to reserve judgment until more evidence comes out. But if it's true, let's go on that rabbit hole. Let's say if it's true, if Shohei Ohtani was paying this man to bet for him, and it was on the game of baseball, Major League Baseball has one of two options. You either suspend Shohei Ohtani for the rest of his career and you ban him from the game of baseball, or you suspend him intermittently for a year or 2 years to allow him to come back and play baseball because he's the face of your game right now, and you reinstate Pete Rose.
Yep.
Those are your two options.
Agreed. I agree.
Agreed.
I love arguing with you, Combs. Like, I can't hear. You're spot on.
Yeah. No. I just, from the crowd that I just seen reactions there, I think we all agree with that statement.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pete Rose has been unjustly screwed over.
100%.
Shohei's going to be his savior.
I wouldn't say Pete Rose has been unjustly screwed over. He did bet on the game of baseball.
Okay. I get that, but holy crap! Like, Jesus. Like,
yeah, and there were like I believe they said there were in that season that he was gambling. When you like really go, I don't know if any of you guys have actually like looked into what happened with Pete Rose, but it was like 9 times that year where he took a pitcher out in situations where in other games he would have left that pitcher in. There was a lot of things that went around Pete Rose, and the fact that he was betting, if he would have bet on only games that the Reds weren't involved in,
Yep.
I wouldn't have had a problem with it.
Yep.
But the fact that he was gambling on games that the teams that he was on and coaching were involved in, that's when I drew the line. So I wouldn't say he was unjust. I don't agree. If you're going to judge a player to go into the Hall of Fame, it's based off of what he did on the field. That's why we let guys. That's why we let certain guys in the Hall of Fame, that have done other stuff. That we let a guy with a racist past who killed people with a baseball bat and then hit a home run with the same bat into the Hall of Fame, but we draw the line at steroids and gambling. I mean, it's a moral compass, right? Like, if Ty Cobb is in, Pete Rose and the steroid era guys should be in.
Correct, with asterisks, but still.
Case closed.
Doggone, I want more discussion of this.
There really isn't much else to say, and I agree with Combs too. Like, until you know more, we can't really say much more.
Right.
But if he did, like he said, that's it. That's the only options. That's the only options.
Good way for the Dodgers to get out of that contract.
I mean, if you look at what's going on,
it's guaranteed. There's no getting out of that contract.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to apply for the insurance.
I'm sure there's some sort of clausing in there. I'm sure the Dodgers didn't blankly screw over their own ass.
If there's a clause in there that says, "Hey, if you were paying somebody to make bets for you, then I will be extremely shocked."
That's a pretty damn smart GM.
Well, so to that point though, there has been some precedence there in terms of the rider might be specific, but if you have something that voids your contract where you've gone so far out of reasonable levels, it would not be public knowledge. There is precedence for voiding a contract. So that's not entirely crazy without the rider being there. But to your point, it would be pretty funny if they had that exact rider on the contract. It's hilarious. But going to our next discussion here, guys. Combs, I gotta start with you, but I want to hear the boys' take on this as well. The Bears, do they still suck? Or are they looking up? I know we both talked about before. Fields being traded. You wanted Fields to stay. He's not. How do you feel now?
I mean, I would actually like to hear your guys' opinions first and then give you my opinion.
I've already said mine. I'm making this perfectly clear. The Bears have had one of the best off seasons of anyone in the NFL. Period. They have set themselves up well. Oh, but they only get 4 picks. They have 1 and 9. It's Caleb Williams and probably Brock Bowers. Caleb Williams, Brock Bowers, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, a sneaky good defense, and they still get 2 other picks, and that's what they're starting with this year, and the amount of picks that they have next year. No. That team has actually done something right.
One problem. They've big time downgraded their quarterback position because I do not believe Caleb Williams is going to do anything in this league at all.
He's a joke.
The dude is watching film of him, and I think he's trying too hard to be Mahomes.
Okay, but I'm not saying that there's not talent there. Of course, there's talent there, but that dude is a head case. He's a head case, and it's going to ruin his career. It's going to ruin his career. And
Chicago.
I mean, the problem with the Bears is, I don't know who we were talking about this before, but they always seem to do this thing where they go in a cycle. They get talent, and then they get rid of the quarterback. And then they find a new quarterback, get rid of the talent, and then they bring talent in, get rid of the quarterback.
Combs can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the best that offense has looked in years.
Well, that's the O-line.
They're still
I was just going to say, what about that O-line?
The last 15 years.
The O-line has been vastly improved through free agencies already. You went out and you got the Rams, the center from the Rams. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. His grade on blocking through 600 snaps. He allowed 30 quarterback pressures over 600 snaps. That's better than anything the Bears have seen since Olin Kreutz. When you went out and you get that guy, on a 1-year deal, you also went out and traded for Ryan Bates, who can be a backup center, who can also play a guard position, who also grades really, really well in pass blocking and run blocking.
He actually plays all 5 positions on the line.
He's a very good depth piece.
That's one of those guys that it sucks to be him though.
Yeah.
Because he's one of those guys that he's never going to start because he can fill in anywhere,
Right. but then not only that, Keenan Allen hasn't played a down for the Bears yet. And this is already the best wide receiving core we've ever had.
Yeah.
Ever. And I don't care. You can tell me about Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall at the same time. You can tell me about any other wide receiver tandem on the Bears you could think of. They are not DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. What you're bringing Caleb Williams into is the best situation that a rookie quarterback has been brought into since Patrick Mahomes. There has not been a quarterback put into a situation like this. Now, look, I'm with you guys. Again, I told you guys before, Caleb is my number 3 on my big board when it comes to quarterbacks. I'm not a big believer in Caleb Williams, but I have said there's enough talent there if he goes to the right situation. Now, are the Bears the right situation? I don't know, because the thing that they've screwed up over the last 40 plus years, and you guys have heard me say this before, is the coaching staff. Yeah. If Shane Waldron is capable of developing a quarterback, which I feel like if you can be successful with Geno Smith, you could be successful with anybody. And so I have the faith there. I like what Ryan Poles is doing. I like all of that. I do disagree with a couple of things that you guys have said. I do disagree that with taking Bowers at number 9. I think they're either going to trade up they're not picking at number 9 unless one thing happens, and that's if Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze fall to number 9. If there's 4 or 5, if the rumors are true that Minnesota's going to try to trade up to 4 so that they can have JJ McCarthy. God, what an stupid pick. But go ahead, Minnesota, please go ahead and pick JJ McCarthy at 4. If that happens, and then somehow you think Malik Neighbors or Odunze are dropping to 9, they might stay at 9. But I think they're going 100%. They're either going to trade up to try to take one of those guys, or if both of those guys are gone and they can't trade up to go get one of them, they're going to trade back into 12 or 13, and they're actually probably going to take the center from Oregon. That's what I think that they're going to do. And that's why you went out and you got a center on a 1-year deal. You got Ryan Bates as a backup so that you can develop a center. That's where I think that they're going to go with the draft.
I also think like the Bears need Joe in the 4th. I like Bo Limmer in the 4th. But
okay,
I 100% agree with you. I've also been getting a lot of him in my mock drafts, but I'm watching film of a lot of these guys now. If Neighbors or Odunze somehow is at 9, that is you run the pick to the commissioner's podium and say, gimme. That would be amazing. If not, I agree. You probably take 9 and you trade back and you accumulate. You have 4 picks this year. You probably try to accumulate a little bit more.
Maybe get into the second round.
Second, third, couple more 4ths. Now you can take some of these later tackles and the guards, McCormick and Mahogany and BB, some of these guards that'll be sitting there in the 3rd round. Can just bolster your offensive line with some guard depth.
Yeah, you're missing though, Adam. For me, the Bears misstepped the second they traded Fields and didn't trade the number 1 pick. Because right now, I don't disagree. The Bears had a good offseason. They've had a good offseason. I like what they've done overall. I'll admit that. You guys know it pains me. But if I'm the GM, if I'm Poles, that number 1 pick and what it lets you get in trade capital, in draft capital in the trade, far exceeds, and it's the long game you're looking at to actually create a long-term winner in Chicago. Because I don't care what anyone wants to say, Eberflus is not going to survive at his best case 2025.
Yep.
He'll be looking to survive this season.
Agreed.
And you're putting a rookie quarterback in a spot now where a new head coach is going to come in, bring his own staff in, and you're making him reset every single year again. Yep. It's a recipe for disaster. I don't care what counts around.
But Ben, if they got a staff that can develop talent, then they're going to be fine with To me, my comp to Caleb Williams in the NFL already, after watching film and watching everything, is Justin Fields. But what they did is the long game that you're talking about, because now instead of having to pick up that 5th-year option, if you can't develop Fields, is you've got a guy that you've got 4 more years with that you don't have to pay. Yep. It was a business decision. I believe the rumors because I believe in Ryan Poles. I believe the rumors that there were other offers on the table, but he wanted to do right by Fields, and Fields wanted to go to Pittsburgh. So I don't know why you would want to go to Pittsburgh, because now you're in up against Lamar, you're in up against Burrow, but 4 times a year up against those 2 guys. Like I don't know why Pittsburgh over Atlanta, but it is what it is. And so I think that the Bears would have been in the same situation with Justin Fields with less time to make a decision. And so that's why I believe that Caleb Williams for the Bears, it makes sense to me. I don't like it either. Don't give me. I love Justin Fields. I'm a Fields guy, and I think he's going to be. I think he's going to win that job, and I think that they're going to end up sending Russell Wilson packing before the season starts.
Agreed.
I think during the season, but
be smart.
Yeah, and I just think that the Bears have just put themselves in a position, and again, if they got it right with Shane Waldron, he's going to end up, even if it is just a one and done for Eberflus, he's probably going to be the guy that takes over as your head coach, which means he's still going to be there with Caleb Williams.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Look, I get it. My thing is, if the rumors are true, you can get 3 1s and 3 2s for that 1 pick. How do you walk away from that? I mean, it's that I get what you're saying, and look, what you just laid out, I actually agree with. If it plays out that way, but I don't trust Halas Hall to do that.
I agree. You're just like me, Ben. You've got Bears traumatic stress disorder. You don't believe they're going to get it right, because I don't believe they're going to get it right either. They never have. But if they didn't get it right now anyways with Caleb Williams, they weren't going to be able to develop Fields either. So they would have never gotten it right with Fields either. So that's why for me, like, I understood, and and in the long run, if that is the case, if the Bears did get it wrong again, I'm glad that they sent Fields somewhere else, because I would love to see this kid be successful.
Yep.
That's
what
fair.
do you all think the odds are? And I want to let Charlie talk too. What do you think the odds are that it's not Williams? I think it's 5%.
Zero.
It's not Williams.
0%.
Yeah, no, it's Williams.
You don't trade Fields if it's not Williams.
Dude,
Charlie,
that would be a too smart. Not taking him would be too smart of a decision for the Bears. Like, seriously, the Bears, they're the same shit show that they've been for the last 15 years. Bears going to do Bears things. That whole division going to be a repeat of last year. You're going to have Detroit and Green Bay at the top, just whooping on Minnesota, doing Minnesota things, and Chicago doing Chicago things.
Somebody said to me, "What would you do if the Bears traded 2 back to Washington, or traded 1 back to Washington, and then took JJ at number 2?" I said, "I would talk to you guys in 50 years to life, because I would be somebody would die. I would there's just too many things that would happen in my head. Like, my head would explode." And I'm doing a live draft show on draft night over out of Rosemont, Illinois, at the Dave and Buster's there with another podcast, and you would see it happen on live, on Twitch, on YouTube, on whatever other platform we're going to be on that night. You're going to see it happen in front of 250 people. If they trade down and they end up with JJ McCarthy, bad things are going to happen on camera.
I want to talk. I like how you guys brought Pittsburgh into this, and before I get too much into this, like, I think it'd be funny as hell to see Fields beat out Wilson. Wilson gets dropped before the season starts, and the Bears pick him up.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious.
How about the fact that Pittsburgh went from having Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett in their quarterback room to having Russell Wilson and Justin Fields for only $6 million.
Right.
It's an upgrade. It's a massive upgrade in the deal.
So yes. It's a low risk ploy, right?
Yeah.
But what have we seen from Wilson last 4 years that make you feel that was a good pickup.
He threw for 3,000 yards, 28 touchdowns to 8 interceptions last year. He didn't have a terrible year.
And destroyed the Denver locker room.
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, but are any of us going to cry if he destroys Pittsburgh's locker room?
No,
I'm not.
He'll be out before he does that.
That's the thing.
I think it's going to come out that him and Peyton were at big odds.
He's at big odds with everybody. That's the problem.
But is he though?
Nobody likes him.
Because he does stupid slogans. Let's ride. What's he going to Steelers country? Steelers country. Let's weld. Steelers country. Let's forge ahead.
Yay, Russ. Anyway, so I mean, look,
Steelers country. Let's weld was what came into mind when I was trying to think of something.
Hey, that's a good one. Maybe he's going to go by Rusty now.
Right.
There we go.
Welcome to
Rusty
the Rusty
Wilson.
Oh my gosh, that's.
All right.
Have any of you guys seen? I know you guys are wrestling fans. Have any of you guys seen those new WWE MLB championship belts?
Yeah, not the MLB ones. No,
they got new MLB ones. They are $550. Are you out of your damn mind?
Yeah,
that's what I asked.
I'm as big a baseball fan as there is, but there is no 550. I got to take out a small loan to get a WWE title belt with the Cubs logo on it. Screw you.
Yeah, New Japan for the old IWGP belt once over 1,000, I think.
They're just trying to pay for Vince McMahon's lawyers just based off of these belts.
and that's probably just the foam ones.
Jesus. We're paying off their NDAs.
Oh, there we go.
Look, guys, before we sign off today, I want to go through this quick. I mean, you guys all have a lot of stuff going on here too that you guys do. I got the tag down the bottom here, looking at Windy City Sports Talk with Combs and Fitz. Great show. Check it out. I know, Troy, you got your show going as well.
Stay tuned with Troy and Howie. Yep, it's on all podcast platforms. And we just did a show last night with a rapper from Philly, what did he go by? Little Block Boodles. So
Little what?
Little Block Boodles. So he's the block that he's from in Philly is called Little Block.
Oh,
okay. So he goes Little Block, and his mother, ever since a baby, called him Boodles. So that's where he got the name.
Oh, I thought you said poodles.
No, Boodles.
The dog. I was like, what is going on?
Like Boodles, like what the Cubs hear all the time. Boo, like like.
Well played.
No, but he was a really cool guy, and he has a couple songs out on all like the streaming platforms, all the music platforms,
awesome.
and it's a really cool vibe. There's not a lot of cursing and cussing in it. It's a really cool thing. So
awesome.
that should be dropping any moment actually today, because Hallie's the one that puts that all together, and he's going on vacation this week, so that should be coming out real soon. So yeah, and we're gonna try to do. Last night was our first attempt at it. We're gonna try to stream on the channel as well as when we do the podcast. So it'll be live, but then there'll also be a recorded version as well. So
awesome. Yep. That's great. And Charlie and Adam, you guys do a daily fantasy sports during NFL season. It's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, Charlie, what else is going on right now?
So right now we're going to start here is the baseball season gets up and everything. I'll be doing the Fantasy Fun House over on my page and stuff. So I'm about to get that going. And then, of course, we've got the wrestling as well. So that's a lot for me to keep up with right now.
Yeah.
We've got the fantasy baseball season we've got draft coming up. I've already got 4 teams drafted. So, like, we're right in the middle of that. And as soon as we're done with drafting, man, I'm getting into football because it's about to be dynasty season.
Would you recommend that my fantasy draft is tomorrow? Would you recommend I draft Yamamoto even though his ERA is already 45?
You might be able to get him in the last round.
No, he's to be up there. I wouldn't take him. I don't like taking chances that much on first-year pitchers.
Yeah,
like not for fantasy purposes. I want strikeouts and stuff, but a lot of it depends on what format you play. Like,
yep.
So who's your first pitcher off the board then?
So here's the thing. It's going to be Strider. Strider's the first. I
was going to say, how is it not Strider?
I don't think that there's any debate, especially this season, on that. For me personally, I usually don't take a pitcher until the 4. I like to get my heavy hitters the first 3 rounds, and then the next 2 or 3 rounds, I will get pitchers. Depending if there's relief pitchers in the league, I may go 3. We'll see. if not the next 2 rounds, I'm going to take 2 really good pitchers as my stable, and then I'm going to pay attention to my bats again, some speed and some power.
Man, fantasy baseball is just, I mean, like, it's just too much for me. It's just
too
too much.
I
love it.
So I've transitioned to playing fantasy baseball for points instead of roto.
Yeah.
I'll be in maybe 2 roto leagues this year. I've slowly grown more. Next year, I'll probably crack that down to just 1 roto league. And I've been playing hockey, basketball, and baseball, all point style, just like fantasy football. Absolutely love it.
Wow.
Makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I see Ben decided to be like the Brewers and leave early.
I think he was giving us the spotlight. Where did he even go? He does realize he's the host. He has to hit the bleeping end button.
No, that's fine. But Adam, what else do you have going on though? Because like obviously you do your fantasy show with Charlie here. But what else do you have going on? You jump in on the wrestling show as well. So.
Yep, I've been on the wrestling show. I am a video game broadcaster. For those that don't know, the TV you see behind me, I work for as a partnerships manager, volunteering. I'm also their Counter-Strike caster, so Counter-Strike is the main game that I broadcast for. I'll be doing a lot of content for ESL's Challenger League, which is the top tier organization for Counter-Strike in the world that hosts the big tournaments. Challenger League is as high as you can get as an amateur.
Wow.
I'll be starting to do some of those casts coming up in the next several weeks. And I've been doing a lot of Metroid game commentary, just a lot of fun stuff like that. And you can find me on my Twitch channel coming up to draft season, doing a lot of NFL draft coverage. I'm going to be talking about things. Like I said, I just started watching film. A friend of mine got me someone on YouTube that has film of a lot of these prospects. Quarterback, like wide receivers are over 40 deep. Like there is a lot of film to watch. And what I've already seen of Caleb Williams, which isn't a lot, I've only had a little bit of chance to actually start this today. He's got the talent, but there is something about his game that worries me.
Yep.
It's like he's trying to force to be Patrick Mahomes, and dude, you're not him. You're not Mahomes. Stop trying to force situations. Does he have that level of talent? Yeah, but there's something gut-wise that concerns me about his gameplay that I've seen so far.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, too. You also, like on your Twitch, you also do like live mock drafts and stuff?
That's going to be part of the NFL draft coverage, correct. I'll be doing mock drafts. I'll be reviewing film. I've thought about doing my own draft system and points and rating the players myself. Probably going to be happening next year.
Okay.
But I love this stuff, and then it'll be Dynasty content, and then starting up with Dynasty season. And Charlie, get your league up. I need more Dynasty leagues.
Absolutely. All right, let me finish. I got Ben's baseball draft next. That's the last draft that I've got. So once that in the first weekend of
where the hell's my invite?
I'll do.
It's in the chat. You didn't respond.
It was in the chat.
Do you know how many chats I have? I my bad. I missed it.
Yeah, we all saw it.
I missed it. I probably saw it and then just forgot about it. To be honest with you,
I think he added everybody except for you. I think
it was Ben did something the Brewers can't do. He came back.
Oh,
wow.
He's not even wrong. He's not even wrong. That's the worst part. But
here's the thing with fantasy baseball. It's so daily intensive and involved. Yeah. I do MLB DFS too, but I'm not an analyst for it. I'll listen to the experts. But doing that helps me to play the daily side of the season long because it allows me to keep up with who are the free agents, if someone out, like who am I going to pick up, like doing that. And like, it's just, there's so much. So like fantasy football, it's a lot easier to manage 7+ teams. Fantasy baseball, it's too difficult. Even if it was all weekly formats, now you're sitting there thinking, okay, is a pitcher getting 1 start or 2 start? Is Shohei doing this? And where's he going to be here? Is this person going to be out? There's too much with baseball as opposed to football.
I agree, Adam.
You can do weekly. You can do weekly lineups.
Like I was saying, even weekly. Now you're thinking of, does this pitcher get 1 start or 2? Who am I starting? Who are the relief pitchers going to be? Who this one? Like you're now taking so much into account now for a full week
Yeah, who do they play at the end of the weekend? Is this guy going to get relief opportunities? Are they going to blow him out all weekend?
You know what I mean? Like, who am I hitting? Who's going to play double headers now during the week? Are they going to be 2 rain games and they get moved to the next week? Did I start the wrong? Like, I love the daily format of it, but 162 games, and for fantasy baseball, it feels like 170 plus is too much. I think the 2 weeks.
No, I agree, Adam, and you brought up a good point, and that's something else I would touch on too. If the salary cap, when I brought up that question about what would you change in baseball, I don't know. I know there's a lot of purists that are going to hate this, but I would take some games away. Honestly, I would.
I would shorten the season.
I'm gross. I'm in 9 leagues.
Oh,
dang. I'll be in 5 when it's all said and done.
Jeez,
a couple of bets.
I would absolutely shorten the baseball season 100%.
Well, I've also got hockey and basketball going on right now, so it's hard to draft a lot of baseball.
Yeah,
man, you guys are crazy.
Yeah, well,
Ben, plug your stuff before we get on out of here, will you? We've all plugged out. Troy has to plug this stuff. Troy plugged this stuff. Ben hasn't yet.
Yeah, look. So if we were creative. Normally be Tuesday nights. I'm out next week for both shows. Sorry, I miss you guys. Taking the family south to enjoy some spring break. But back WrestleMania week in both shows coming. So looking forward to talking to you guys then. April 2nd, 7 p.m. Central. Love to have you guys join us. Talking WrestleMania and getting ready for the weekend that will be awesome. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And besides that, just trying to survive the dad and husband life and make one day at a time. So
there you go.
Awesome. I heard you bring that up real quick on the wrestling show, Charlie. The awesome truth.
I love the awesome. Look, these guys, man. I mean, this goes back to like 2011. I think is the first time that they tagged together.
Did you see that end of that match and just Truth falls over on him, doesn't even know he pinned him? Oh,
that's the best thing. Is they're gonna play on the comedic side of our Truth, and the Miz is the perfect guy to play off of that.
Yep,
absolutely
great.
You know what? It gives me shades of Mizdow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's something in of itself. Nice reference.
Yep, I loved Mizdow. That was awesome.
Then get us started before we start breaking into a wrestling show part 2.
Yeah, check us out there as well. We're on all our Death with Bacon platforms, broadcasting that as well on Tuesday nights. We're only 8 episodes in, so you're not too far behind to get caught up.
Troy, when are you joining the show?
Yeah, Troy, come on in.
When are you joining to come talk wrestling with us? Let's go.
Oh, I could jump in every once in a while. I don't know. Tuesday, I mean, I'll tell you what, things are going to get a little crazy for me. Daughter's playing softball, son's playing baseball. Ooh. And of course their practices are like each different days of the week. So yeah, like
separate sides of town.
If you guys ever want me to come on and talk about Balian or tribal cheeks, I'll definitely come on and talk about those.
Take me up on that. 100%.
Tribal cheeks.
Acknowledge. All right, guys. Well, thank you.
Wow.
A great night, a great show. We'll take her off here. Thanks again. We'll talk to y'all later.
Right now, I'm working on my dad, but oh my God.